effort between Analytics and Meccano Motors. We are here to take your Excel skills to the next level. Between revenue that comes in and cars that were sold, there's a bit of relationship. Let me use that word, relationship, between number of cars sold in a year
Hi everyone, welcome to today's session. Whatever emoji you're feeling, just give me a thumbs up, just react. So I can know that everyone here can hear me. If you can hear me, please go ahead to react. All right, thank you, Emmanuel, Gloria, Adesunoi, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Uche, thank you everyone for joining us today. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Before we get into the order of the day, I'm just going to go ahead to present my screen so that we can kickstart and basically have an amazing session. But before I do that, I want to know where everybody is joining us from. Whether you are in Lagos, Nigeria, because that's where I am at the moment, or you are in Ghana, in Kano, wherever you are, please just use the chat and just, indicate, okay, I'm in Lagos, Nigeria, I'm in Kano, I'm in Abuja. Joining us. Appreciate that. So let's have it, guys. I'm currently in the charts, and like I mentioned, I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria, and I really want to know where every other person is joining at the moment. So I would really appreciate, because this session is going to be very interactive, and I hope everyone is either with their laptop, their iPad, because your facilitator today has come with a lot of knowledge. And basically, you're going to be getting your hands dirty. So you're not just only going to be joining us to listen in or not speaking, never. That's not how our classes go. Whether it's our actual classes, whether it's webinar, you're always going to get value for your time. And when I say value, everything that he's going to be practicing, you have the opportunity to do it just as well. So you are in for a ride. So thank you so much, Nonso. I see that you've dropped, in the chat. We have Nonso from Lagos. I'm expecting more. If you guys don't respond, we'll not start the session proper. So please, just humor me and let me know where you're joining us from. Nanto has dropped that's joining us from Lagos. I'm expecting more. So all you need to do is go to the chat box and just type in where you are joining us from. Victor, I see you're reacting, but I actually need to know what location you're joining us from so that we can kickstart. All right, thank you, Oma. Oma is joining us from Abuja. Welcome to today's session. It's going to be an absolute blast. Thank you for coming in, especially joining. If you're joining from Nigeria, we all know it's in the evening. A lot of people are coming back from their Owambe parties. It's really nice to have you on here. I can see Emmanuel. Emmanuel is joining us from Lagos, so I'm pretty sure, you can hear me right now, and I don't want to waste a lot of time on this particular aspect because your facilitator has called with fire, and I want to make sure that he gives you the accurate time to be able to go through what he has in store for you. So moving on, I'm going to go ahead with the presentation that we have planned. So as you can see on my screen, you see that will be someone's hand raised. Okay, hi Gloria. Gloria is joining us from Ghana. So nice. Welcome so much. Thank you for joining us today. It's an absolute pleasure to have you in our midst. So I'm going to go ahead to what we'll be learning today, as well as doing a little bit of presentation in terms of the organization that is bringing this to you. So for today's session, you're basically going to be learning the professional's guide to a workflow automation using n8n. Okay, so a lot of people might have questions in regards, oh, what is n8n? What do you mean like workflow automation and other questions that you might have? So all you need to do is just sit tight. Your facilitator will walk you through end to end what n8n as a tool is in terms of automating your workflow. How can you do this? A lot of us are either joining from the bank, you have a business, you're unemployed, you're a student, no matter what, there's always a way to automate your current workflow. So workflow does not even only mean, oh, I'm currently working and then that's it. There are simple tasks that you can do and can be achieved with automation. And that's basically what you'll be learning in today's session. So I'm going to move further so that we can get started. So I'm going to do a bit of introduction about the organization that is bringing this webinar to you. And basically, we're called n8n Business. So a lot of people might know in the business of doing is helping individuals to upskill. So whether it's individuals, whether it's organization, whether, it doesn't really matter what background you're coming from, whether you don't have any tech experience, whether you are a long-time professional, you just want to, move and transition to another industry, you are always welcome, because, having that particular skill is basically going to be what to be able to propel you to the next step. And that's what we choose to achieve in Analytics Business. So Analytics Business is an e-learning platform, and we've helped organizations, individuals, basically be able to empower themselves, be able to empower their team, their staff, their employees with different development opportunities. So whether you're whether you're looking to learn basic skills, it could be soft skills, it could be hard skills, it could be, basically the next step in your career. If you're looking to get a remote job while working in Nigeria, to have a job abroad, we help you with that. Employability skills and all that is what we try to achieve here. So you basically would have access to our courses, whether it's the short form courses on our LMS system, or you want like a one-on-one training. That's what is going to happen when you partner with Analytics Business, or you learn with Analytics Business. That's the flow and basically what we want to achieve. So I'm not going to bore you with all this. You get to learn more later about the organization. We've helped 60,000 individuals across different continents. I'm not even saying countries right now, I'm saying continents. So even in Africa, you have Nigeria, you have Uganda, Ethiopia. We have students coming from all walks of life and from all parts of the continent. If you have America, as well as Europe, as well as Asia. So we've basically had participants join our programs, across these different continents. And for us to do that, you already know that we give top-notch services. So it's not your regular day-to-day, I would call it, our courses are premium. So premium services is what we offer, and that's what we look to achieve. So whether it's the webinar that you're going to be enjoying totally free, or you actually come to join any of our classes, we like to give premium service because that's what we stand by. Okay, so let's move further. So moving on, like I mentioned, we offer both soft and hard skills. So whether you're looking at taking any of the soft skills that you see on the screen, whether it's marketing or analytics or customer service or sales or brand management or business development, SEO, e-commerce, we've got you covered. Or you're looking to, still have other parts of the soft skills, communication, intelligence, time management, leadership. If you have access to our website, which we'll drop later on, you get to see all this information. So these are where some of our participants that have joined the program are working and have worked. So you have people across the globe working in MTN, Dufil, Zenith Bank, HSBC, Western Union, Amazon, NHS. And very soon, if you stick with us, you might be one of the participants we get to show during our success stories. Wouldn't that be amazing? So you're from your, how do you call it now, grass to grace fame, or whatever angle you want to paint it from, you'd basically be able to be part of the testimonials in terms of actually landing a job. And if you are currently working and are looking to upskill, you're not left out. You're basically going to be living with top-notch skill, whether data analytics or business analysis or whatever skill you want to achieve. So moving on, I'm going to let the facilitator take it up from here so he can start his presentation. So hi, Daniel, are you there? Hi, Daniel, are you there?
Hello, Treasure. Good evening. How you doing?
Good. Very well. So over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Wonderful introduction there. And my name is Daniel, and I'm a senior data science associate at Analytics, and I'm here to walk you through what we call workflow automation. And it's so exciting to have everybody here and on the board. So without much wasting of our time, let me share my screen and let's get started. Please give me a thumbs up if you are ready for this session. Give me a thumbs up if you are supercharged. You want to see what we have for you at 10 Analytics tonight. All right. So Treasure has been able to do justice on most of what we offer here. But now let's look at something. Let's look at this slide that we have up here. Now, if you look at this slide, there are two systems. We have the old system and then we have the modern system. Now, for the modern system, you look at it. In the modern system, what do you notice? You notice that there are people seated at a table, and in this sitting at the table, what are they trying to do? They are trying to come up with something, right? Now, when these people sit down, come up with whatever they want to come up with, when we now join it with what we call automation technology, which is our modern system, what you are going to observe is that we are going to get what we call a system of operation. So where we bring in the old plus the modern. Now, in this old and the modern system, one is totally human-based. The other is independent of a human. And you're going to see very interesting stuff that we are going to build tonight. And trust me, you are going to love what you see. We are going to build something hands-on that you are going to test out. And if you are not able to follow through all through the program for this particular session, you are going to watch the recording and then you can try it out. And then what we built tonight, we are going to test it. I require each and everybody on this call to test it to see that it is actually working. So let's see how we can actually build this technology. Let's see how we can combine the old with the modern. Let's see how we can combine paper and combine it with modern stuff. All right. Now, talking about the old and the modern. Now, remember I talked about automation technology. Now, in this automation technology, there's what we call AI agents. How many of you have heard of artificial intelligence before? Give me a thumbs up if you heard of artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is coming for your jobs and all of those things. Now, should we be scared? Should we be excited? What should be our position? And this is why we are here. Now, when we talk about AI agent is just like a human agent. But this time around, instead of having a human doing the work, we are going to be using a computer to do the work. So that means I will transfer my thinking. I'll give it to a computer. Now, when I transfer my thinking and give it to the computer, the work I am supposed to do, the computer will do it and will do it efficiently. Now, how many of you does not like that kind of thing? Like, oh, instead of sit down and think, I can tell the computer what to do, and then the computer will do it for me. Like, that makes life easy, isn't it? It just makes life super easy, and everybody likes the soft life. I don't know about you, but I love the soft life, because if not for technology, I will not be able to speak to you over wherever you are at the comfort of your home. We would have probably been gathered in a hall, sitting and talking. But because of technology, I can talk to you. So now let's see what is an AI agent. So tonight we are going to be using what we call n8n. n8n, which is spelled as N, then 8 and N. Let me use a pen instead. So N, 8. So this is n8n. So this n8n is what will help us to define, is what we are going to use to define our workflow. Now, we are going to build an AI agent, an AI that actually does stuff. So whether you are from a tech background or not, you are going to build an AI that does something tonight. So this will be your introduction. And in this n8n is a platform that allows us to define our processes. Now, when we are done defining our processes, it helps us to connect the different services that we want to automate. And then when we are done connecting those different services, it helps us to make everything work as they ought to. So this is what n8n is. It's the platform that we are going to be carrying out all of this automation that we want to carry out. So now, for us to build an for us to be an AI agent, that is an AI that will actually do something for us, one of the things we need to do is that we need to understand the workflow. What do I want my AI to do? Where does it start from? Where does it end? For example, if I tell you to write a mail for me, now, where does the work start? It starts from me calling your attention, isn't it? It starts from me calling your attention. So when I'm done calling your attention to what I want you to do, I will now give you the task. Then when you take the task, you are going to commit to doing the task wherever you are. And so this is what we mean by understanding the workflow. So you need to know what you are trying to do. So when you understand the workflow, the next thing you want to do is set up each node in the workflow. So when I know how this thing is going to come together, I'll now set up everything in the workflow to make them work. Now, the third thing I'm going to do is that when I set up the node, I'll now integrate all the necessary parts. Now, by the time I integrate all the necessary parts, what am I going to get? I'm going to get an AI agent that does human work for me. So by this, it brings me into what we have, the picture on the right. So that's what we are trying to do. This is not difficult at all. And that's why we are trying to walk you through how to get it done. So if you are with me, give me a thumbs up. If you are with me to this point, kindly give me a thumbs up so I'll know that we are together. All right. So following all of these processes, we are now going to build our agents. Now, let's look at the exact problem we are solving tonight. So let's look at the case study we want to solve. Remember I said we are building an actual workflow. We are building an actual agent that does something that you are going to test tonight. All right. So now, automating your personal assistant. That is a case study in smart workflow. So what we're trying to do is that we are trying to automate, get a personal assistant. Now, what does a personal assistant do? Can anybody tell me? Like, you can just drop it on the chat box. What does a personal assistant do? Please, I need answers. What does a personal assistant, what do they do? If you have a PA or you are a PA yourself, what do you expect from your PA? Please, let's put it up. Let's give our responses. What does a personal assistant do? Yes, okay. Basically taking notes here. Thank you, Abdusalam Taiwo. He says PA take notes. Oh, exactly. All right. So what else do they do? What else do they do? They assist. Okay. So that means if there are things you need to do, they assist you to do them. Thank you, Manuel. So basically, they help you to organize your daily activity. Thank you. So it says Smart Work Assist is a digital productivity solution provider dedicated to simplifying everyday tasks through automation. So what they do is that they are integrating communication tools, they schedule systems, and then they try as much as possible to manage tasks. Now, they have professionals and businesses to save time, reduce error, and build. So now, in this case study, what we are trying to do is that we are trying to explore the automation of a personal assistant workflow designed to streamline common tasks such as email, reminder, task updates. Now, how are we going to do this? What we want to do is that we want to create a workflow that connects our Gmail. It connects your Gmail. And after connecting your Gmail, it connects your Gmail down to your Telegram. So we have our Gmail down to our Telegram and then our AI tools to create a seamless virtual assistant experience. So this is what we are trying to aim at here. So Gmail, Telegram, and AI tool. So these are the things, common AI tools we have. We have ChatGPT, we have several other things. You can actually even build your own AI that you connect to this. but basically this is just the idea behind it. Your AI to your mail and Telegram. So if you have all of these three ready, or if you have Gmail and you have Telegram, give me a thumbs up. If you have Gmail and Telegram, thumbs up. Okay, Gloria, Nonso, Abdusalam, yes, Gmail, Telegram. So let's get started then. Okay, so once we have these two, we can get the other ones. We can get the other ones together. The AI tool, I'll show you how to get the AI tool and add it to it. So now, if we have these two ready, then we are good to go with the next step. Now that we have been able to look at the business, so while we're doing the business, while we're carrying out the project, are we just doing it because it has to be done? There has to be a rationale for whatever we are doing. We don't just build things because we know how to build them. We build things because we want to actually solve problems in the environment. So what are we trying to do? We are trying to streamline routine communication. We are trying to enhance task and schedule management. Then we are trying to improve productivity and efficiency. So basically, this is what we are trying to do. We are trying to improve productivity and efficiency. So by the time we put all of these needs together, these needs help us to see the reason for building this project. So it's not just something we are doing because we want to do a webinar. We actually want to build something that solves an actual problem. All right. So now that has been said, let's look at the workflow. Remember, I made mention of workflow. So this is what we are trying to build. This is what we are trying to build. Now look at this thing. It might look like gibberish, but trust me, after this session, you understand perfectly everything that is here. Now, so let's look at the workflow. By the time we are done with this workflow, we'll take this workflow in mind. We'll go back to our lab. We'll go and dissect the things we need in the lab, and then we get started with it. So now, from our lab, before we go to the lab, what does this do? This is what we call a workflow. So from the start, where does it start? What triggers the event? Now, when the event has been triggered, where does it go? Now, in this case, we are going to start from Telegram. We are going to start from Telegram. So Telegram triggers the events. So when I send a message on Telegram to my bot, when I send a message on Telegram to my bot, what happens is that it now takes that message through this AI agent. Now, when it takes it through this AI agent, it first passes through my chat model. When it passes through my chat model, it helps me to create Gmail. It creates my draft. It sends email for me. And then when I'm done sending the email and I'm done configuring what I want to configure, it now sends a text message to the receiver. This is basically my workflow. Very simple and straightforward. So Telegram, I go to my Telegram, send a message to my agent. My agent takes it to my AI. AI processes the message, sends this message to my Gmail based on what I want to do. Then when it's done, it automatically sends it back as a reply. So it's not all the time it will send messages to the Gmail. Sometimes, depending on what you want to, the instruction we give it, it's going to determine so many things that it's going to do. So with this now, we've been able to define our workflow. So can you see now? Very simple. So I want to sit down. I want to draft a message. All I just need to do is to go to my Telegram, type, send a message on the Telegram. Once I send the message on the Telegram just tells me that, okay, your message has been received. I'll work on what you said. And then when we are done working on what we have asked it to work on, you just see the results. So this is our workflow. So give me a thumbs up if you understand the workflow that I have put and you are ready to start coding. Okay, all right. So that being said, you are going to review before sending out, definitely. And that's why it's an agent. We give it instructions. It's going to do what we want. It's not going to act on its own. If I don't tell it to send, it will not send. Do you understand? So I will review its work, but we are going to build it in such a way that I will have less interaction. I'll just be acting as supervisor, and then it will do the work as I have sent it to do. All right. So that being said, the work is clear. We've defined our workflow. Now let's get started. Let's get our hands dirty with coding. So no more, no much talk tonight, just practicals. So let's go and create our first AI agent if you've not done that before. All right, so let's see. So if you are using your Google Chrome or your Edge, your Microsoft Edge, it will work. And if you're using Firefox, it will also work. So first thing first, we need open your browser, just like you have it here. Open your browser, and then we'll start from there. Now, once you have your browser running, let's go to the next step. So I'm going to type n8n login. So just in case we are not sure, so just type your n8n login, then hit enter. So once you hit enter, it gives you several options here. So you want to look at the n8n cloud, the n8n cloud. So I'm going to click on n8n cloud, this first results. Now for the first results, it's going to ask you to sign in. Now, just in case you have not signed in before, you can click on start a free trial. So when you click on start a free trial, it's going to ask you for your full name, the name of your company, which is optional. You can put in your email address, you can put in your password, and then you can also put in your account name, that is a nickname you want to use. So I've already done all of this, but for you, you might be required to fill in all of this form. So for me, once you are done with this part, the next thing is you click on verify that you are human, and then you start your trial. So with this setup, you are good to go. You are good to get started with your first automation task. All right, so give me a thumbs up if you are with me on this. Okay, all right, so now that we have done that, now that we've signed up, once we are done signing up, it's going to ask you to log in. It's going to log you in directly, so it will not ask you to sign up. So this doesn't take up to a minute. Just confirm everything you want to confirm, and then you are done. So for me, I already have an account. This is my own account name. So I'm just going to click on sign in. So by signing in, I have my home for workflow. I have my home for workflow. So for you, when you are new, you might have several other things interface, but just come to personal. You can just come to personal and then click on create workflow. So once you are done, click on create workflow. Once you click on create workflow, it enables us to start what we want to start right now. So with that now, I've clicked on it, create workflow, and then we'll get started. So if you have gotten here successfully, then welcome to your first step in our workflow. So you can give your workflow a name. For me, I may say my PA, my personal assistant. You can give it any name here. So after personal, you can do my PA. So I'll hit my enter, and then instead of having the edit option there, I'm going to have my PA here. So now that we've set our workflow, we've set a name for the workflow. The next thing I want to do in this workflow is I need to add data. I need to start. What is the first step? Where does everything start from? That's adding your first step. So I'll click on add first step. So remember, we start from Telegram. somebody sends a message to my Telegram, then when the person sends a message to my Telegram, it will trigger the whole event. So in this case, I can click on app events. So where did I click? When I started, I click on add first step. Then it will ask me what triggers this workflow. So for me, on app events, so it asks me what app am I looking for. So we are working with Telegram. So Telegram, there are so many apps here that you can work with, but for me, I'm working with Telegram. So Telegram. Now, when you click on Telegram, it will now ask you what exactly should trigger, what should happen for it to trigger this event. Now, for me, on message is the one that will trigger this particular event. So whenever there is a message, it should trigger this event. Now, you will see, it will ask you, connect with what? So let me delete. I already have an account here. So let me delete this so that we can start afresh. So for you, this is what you are going to see. This is what you are going to see. You are going to see credential to connect with. Then it will ask you for the credential. So I'm going to click on create new credential. Now, when I'm done clicking on create new credential, it's now going to ask me, what are my access token, or what is my access token? Now, for me to get my access token, I have to go to my Telegram. So I'm going to share my Telegram. Let's see how we can create a token on Telegram. Remember, I said we are going to build something that actually works. And that's why I'm taking you through all of these processes, so that when you watch this video again, you can replicate what we are doing. Now, that's if you're unable to follow till the end. So let's go to my Telegram. So I'm sharing my Telegram. Now, from my Telegram, what do you see? You see a lot of things, right? So where am I going to start building Telegram? Where do I send message to that it will trigger everything that I'm working on? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my search. Now, in my search, I'm going to search for bot father. Bot father. So can you see it here? Bot father. So remember this one that is verified. That's what you are going to search for. So I'm going to click on it, bot father. So you can see several bots that I've created before, some years ago. These are several bots that I've created some years ago. So now I'm going to start. So for you to start, you are going to see a button called start. So when you click on your start, it's going to tell you, it's going to show you so many options. But for us, what we need is that we need a new bot. So when you click on start, it will show you all of this manual. So we need a new bot. So I'm going to click on new bot. I'll click on new bot. So it will tell me I should choose a name for my bot. So I will say 10 analytics biz. So that's the name for my own bot. You can choose a different name that suits you. So, but for me, mine is 10 analytics. So I'll use 10 analytics biz, and then I'll send the message. So now I've chosen a name for my bot. So it's now asking me that I should now choose a username for my bot. So there is a name for bots, there is a username for bots. Now, this username must be unique. Nobody must have used it before, because if you use something that has been used before, it will not allow you. So let me choose a name, my PA underscore bots. Let's see if it works. Sorry, this name has been taken. Can you see it now? So let me use my 10 PA bot. Now, when you are giving a name, don't forget your name must end with bot, whether in capital letter or small letter. it must end in bot. So my 10 PA bot, can you see it now? It's working. So it told me that my 10 PA bot is fine, it's accepted. So now congratulations on your new bot. You find, so you can add the description and all of that. So it's asking me to use this access token. So I'm going to copy this token. I'm going to copy this token. I'll copy it. Now I'll go to my agents. I'll go to my agent and go and paste it. So let's go back to our agent. Now we'll come back to this. We'll come back to this bot. Now take note, we have a link to our bot now that anybody can use to access our bots, but it will not do anything meaningful at the moment. So I'm going to copy this and go and paste it. So let's paste it together. Now you see that this is supposed to be a secret key. That means nobody else is supposed to see it. But I'm showing you just for you to see how it works. So when you are building yours, please ensure that no one else sees it. All right. So now I've gone to my access token. As you can see, I'll click on save. So I'll click on save. Now, when I click on save, you will see that it has been saved for me, and then it's testing it. Now that it has done testing it, it's done. We have it saved. Correct. You can see connection tested successfully. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to close it. No, thanks. I'm not executing it. So I'm done with my first test. Now it's asking me, so let's test it. Let's see that our model is working. So I'm going to click on execute step. So it's listening for test events. So it's asking me to go to Telegram and create an event. So let's go back to Telegram. Let's send a message to our bot. So I'll present something else. Okay, let's go to Telegram. Let's do this together. So I'll go to my Telegram. Remember the name of my app. This is my app. So this is my bot rather. So I'll click on it. Then I'll click on start. So if you check now, this start that I clicked on has triggered an event on my agent. Let's go and see it. Just clicking on that start has already triggered an event. So now, if you look at my screen, just check, present something else. Now, can you see it? Can you see the events? It has triggered an event for me. So it's telling me that this person, this guy, has sent a message. And what message did this person send? He said the person sent a message called start. That's the message they sent. So if you look at this, this tells us that we have been able to start our bot successfully. Now, let me pull another message. Let's listen for another message. I'm going to send a message to my bot now, and let's see what it does. Hello there. So I sent another message. Can you see? It has pulled the message. Are you seeing it now? So there is a text. Hello there, I am testing this bot. So can you see now that it has been able to successfully capture all the information I need? So that means from the chat, there is an ID, then there is a name. I can get the person's username and any other information. This is the date, and then this is the text. So we've been able to successfully build something that will trigger the agent. So we've built our first portion of the agent. So now the next portion that we want to do for our workflow, the next portion of our workflow that I want to develop now is the portion that helps this Telegram that we have built to do something. So when messages come in, what should we do with the message? Should we just take it? Now we've seen that it's working. The message is the Telegram, the bot is already taking our Telegram message. It can read it, so I can tell what you send me. If you send me a message now I can tell what you are sending. So next thing we want to do is that I also now add what we call AI. So you see this plus now. This plus sign is what next do I want to do? So I'll click on it. So the next thing I want to do is that I want to add an AI. I want to add AI to it. So AI. Now, in this AI, it's now asking me that what AI agents do I want to use? So generally, I just want to use AI agents. I'm not using one AI. I'm using several AI agents together. So it's not asking me that. So what does it want me to do with the AI agent I've selected? So now, all of these things, we are going to edit them. So it's saying chat trigger mode. So let's start editing it. I'm going to click on connected chat trigger mode. Instead of this one, I want to define my own. So I want to define my own user. So what I'm going to do is that once I click on define below, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to now let's change this to expression. If you use this prompt, that is the user message, change it to an expression. So instead of fixed, it was originally fixed, but we don't want it to be fixed. We want it to be an expression. So I'll click on expression. Now let's scroll down a bit. And then this is what you can see, this text here that I'm clicking on. I'll just left click on it, then I will drag it to the prompt. I'll drag it there. So can you see now our prompt user message is telling us that you can see that this is our prompt. Now I'll explain what this is as we go on. So we've been able to build this. It's reading, our AI cannot successfully read our data. But now let's add the real AI agents one after the other. How do we want the AI to work? So I'm going to come to these options. Okay. So I'm not adding anything at this moment. I'm not adding anything. I'm just going to keep it the way it is for now. So let's go back. So I'll click on this back to canvas. I'll click on back to canvas. So it's showing us our AI agents. It's giving us red because we've not really put anything. We've not put anything. So I need to put a chat model. All I just did the other time was to define what this model is. When I double click on this, you see it's giving me all of this. So that was the place I set my source, define below, then my prompts, which is the user message. I'll scroll down, then go to text, drag the text and put it here. And then we are done with the AI agents. So let's start with the chat model. Chat model. So I'm going to click on chat model. Now, when you click on the chat model, it's going to ask you what you want to use. So I'm going to use my open AI chat model. So which is ChatGPT. So I'll click on open AI chat model. Now let me delete what I have here. I already have one. So now it's asking me to select my credential. What do I want to work with? So the reason I'm deleting it because this is probably your first time, so you don't have anything connected. So I'll click on my create credential. So it's now asking me that, so what do I want to use? What do I want to use for this? So I can now choose the credential that I want to use. So for you now, you are going to get, what's it called? You are going to get you are going to get a free option. You are going to get a free option. So that free option, you can actually use it. You can, and if you don't have a free option, being given to you, you can actually use what we call, you can use the you can set up one. So for us now, we are going to use my API key. All right. So now basically what I want to use, the credential I want to use, sorry, create a new credential. Just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to show us how to create a credential on OpenAI. So since we are using an OpenAI model, let's create a credential from there. All right, so now let's go to OpenAI. So platform.openai.com. So that's where we are going, platform.openai.com. So while that is loading, okay. So while that is loading, we've created our platform. Now let's go to the platform. So I'm going to click on platform. So from the platform, I'm going to go to my dashboard. I'm going to go to my dashboard, and then on my dashboard, while that's still waiting for it to open, so I need my dashboard open. Sorry. Okay, so let me get my API key. So I'm trying to get my API key from my model. And for you, you can actually get yours. Okay, I'm trying to get something from here. I'm going personal. Okay, so where's my AI API? Um, so my dashboard is loading. So I'm waiting for it to pull up my API for me. So I'm wondering why the platform is not loading for me. It's loading, but I'm waiting for it to bring up my API so I can get it done. So while we are waiting, so would not wait so much. Let's use another alternative. So just a minute. I want to pull up another one so that I will not have to wait for long for that. So here's a major issue with building an AI model agent many times. So we need to go back and forth with it. So let me stop sharing. Let me share another screen of mine that will help us to get this done. Let me stop presenting this. So can you guys see my screen? Okay.
Your screen is not showing.
All right. Just a minute then. It's loading up from here. So how about this? Okay. So let me quickly walk through the first. Okay, so let me quickly walk through the first. So I'm going to quickly build this to show you how fast it is in building. So on message, and select my credential, create a new credential, and then get my so get this done and then save. And just like that, I have no thanks. And just like that, I have this back to my Canva. So I add my AI agents, and chat trigger defined below. And so okay, so let me go back and activate this node by putting something here. Okay, let me go back to my agents. Let me take this out first. So let's listen to an event. Okay, so we've been able to get an event successfully. Now let's go back and add our AI agents now. Then AI agents. So remember, instead of chat trigger defined below, Then instead of ID, we are going to use, so we'll use the text here, and then I can execute this step. And you can see that, okay, I've not connected my chat model. So I have my AI agents. I need to connect my chat model, which is what we are trying to do here. So I'm going to use OpenAI chat model. So yes, this is what I was trying to, this will make it easier for us to start the development. So you don't have to bother with creating that. So I can just claim my free credit. And with that, I have n8n free OpenAI credit. So that was what I was trying to demonstrate the other time. So most of us don't have access to the OpenAI free credit. So this works for first timers. So you can use your credits as you like. So now that we are done, we've created our model, and that is it. So I'll go to properties. Let me check if there's anything I need to check here. There's nothing I need to check. So I can go back to my canvas. And so now let's execute our workflow. And you can see node executed successfully. So we are good to go with this. So kindly give a thumbs up if you are good with this. So can you see how quickly I was able to build this from scratch? So we have been able to build our model. So this model now, it has been able to take message from Telegram, and then it has been able to send it to our chat model. Now let's see, what can we do with this chat? Telegram, so does it end there? I've connected it to my chat GPT correctly. So let's see what it does. Let's see what it does. So I'm going to, you see this plus sign now? I'm going to click on it. So that means after it gets my model from here, what should you do with it? So I'll click on my plus sign. So we are going back to Telegram. So I tell it Telegram. So it's now asking me that, okay, Telegram, in Telegram, what do we want it to do? So I'll tell you that it should send message. So I'm going to type send message. Can you see? There are different options. So you can see send a text message. So I'll click on it, send text message. So it's now asking us that, okay, you're asking me to send text message. So how do I do that? So I've connected it with my original Telegram account. So what am I to do? Send text message. So operation is to send text message. Are you seeing it now? So it's asking for chat ID. Now this chat ID, don't forget, where do we get it from? We go back to our Telegram trigger. So you see this trigger we got initially, we go there. So how do I know the ID? Just scroll down, you see your chat, then you see the ID. So I'll carry the ID and then I'll put it there. So now it's asking me, so what are the texts and all of that? So the text is going to come from where? The text is going to come from our model, our chat model. You see that ChatGPT we added? That's where the text is going to come from. So I'll go to my AI agent. Can you see AI agent's output? That's going to be my text. So I'll click on the output. I'll drag it to text. That's it. Then when I'm done, can you see it's telling me this is the result? Then don't forget, change this from fixed, change it to expression. So you can see my result here. How can I assist it today? That's the output from our AI. Now the next thing now says that these additional fields, I'm going to click on add fields. Then I'll click on append n8n. I'll click on it. Then you see that it is selected already, but I don't want it selected. So I'll click on deselect. So it will unselect it for me. All right. So I have it ready. So everything is fine from my end. So it's going to send this message back to the Telegram group. And then so I can click on execute step. And then you can see that it says node successfully activated. Now look at the text. How can I assist it today? Now let me show you how it looks like on the Telegram. Now, can you see the response? My agent has been able to take my message and reply on Telegram. So let's chat a little before we continue. So, but before we start our chatting, I'm going to click on I'm going to click on active. You can see that it's saying it's inactive. So I'll click on active. So when I click on active, what this does is that it activates the node. So I don't have to do it manually now. Any message I send, it will take it and then it will work it for us. So my name is Daniel. Let's go back to our Telegram. So let's go back to our Telegram and type it. So I'll click on my name is Daniel. How can you help me? So I'm waiting for my bot to reply. So let's go back to our agents. Let's go back to our agents now. So can you see? Hi, Daniel. I'm here to provide you whether you need answers. So what would you like assistance with today? So can you see how my agents have been able to work? But I need to now personalize it to exactly what I want it to do, how I want it to behave. So it can do lots more than this that it's doing. So let's give it more work to do. So present something else. So let's start. So I'll go to my screen. I'll go to my screen. Sorry, I was not sharing my screen the other time. So this was what I clicked. If you look at this, it was inactive originally, and this is most likely what you are going to see. So when I click on active, it says yes, got it. So what it does is that automatically it takes things from my chat automatically and walks it through. So anybody who is using this chatbot right now will get that response that is connected to my AI agent. But I need it to be smart. I need it to be smarter than this. So let's configure the smartness. Let's add other things. So I'm going to click on tools. So what tools do I want to add? I want to add my Gmail. So I'll click on Gmail too. So I'll search for Gmail. So you can see Gmail too. So it's asking me, what do I want to do with this Gmail too? What are the parameters? So I'll tell you that connect with. So credential to connect with. So I want to connect with so it's asking me, what am I connecting with? So what Gmail am I using? So I'll click on it. So there is a new pop-up for me asking me to select the email I want to use. So you are going to select the email you want to use. And then once I select the email, it's going to come back. You're going to see that popping up from your own end. So I'll click on allow the permissions, then continue, and it will bring me back to this place. And you see that my Gmail has been connected. So can you see now? My account has been connected. So this is the Gmail we are going to use. So what do I want to do with the Gmail? I want it to send messages, right? I want it to send messages. So I want to send message in Gmail. Yes, no. So resources. So let's start from resource. What I want it to do is not just send messages. I want it to create a draft. Create a draft for me. So create a draft in Gmail. So you can see the operation is to create a draft. So now, what is the subject of the draft? I can tell it that based on what I want to do, automatically creates the draft for us. Now, to reply to an existing thread, specify we don't need that one. So now, email type, click on text. Now, the message, what message should it craft? Let it determine. You tell it, defined automatically by the model. So now, when we are done, the next thing is let's look at the other options we have. Add options. Well, I can decide which email I want to send it to. Can you see? I can send it to an email. I can attach a CC. I can attach a BCC. Anything I want to attach to it. So I can do that, but I'm not going to do that now. So let's just leave that. Let's leave that part. So let's step out of this. Let's step out of it. So now remember, this is active. This is active. So it's going to create a draft in my Gmail. So I'm going to share with you what my Gmail looks like after it has created the draft. So I'm going to go back to my mail, and I'm going to tell my assistant to create a draft. So let's go and tell the assistant to create a draft for us. So this is where we get a personalized assistant. So instead of hiring a PA, I can actually make ChatGPT to do this for me. So this is where we are personalizing things. So let's see how it works. So let's see what ChatGPT does. I'm going to tell it, create a draft. I want to travel to the beach tomorrow, next week. Drafts and email. So I can say create an email draft that I will send to I'll send to the HR requesting for leave politely. So send it. We sent this. So can you see? It has told us, here is my draft. Are you seeing everything here? Now let's go and check our mail, whether it actually creates the draft of the email. So I know somebody asked the other time, will it just send it? Well, you can see the control that we have added to it to help us determine what it does at any point in time. So it has created the draft. Now, this is different from you going to ChatGPT and asking it to draft. Then when you're done drafting, you copy and then you send. So now let's see what ChatGPT has done. So I'm going to say, okay, so now save this as a draft. Now, can you see? Please provide the content you like to include in the draft. Now, one thing is going on here. It does not remember what we have done previously. It cannot remember. So what we need to do is we need to help it remember the things that it needs to do. So how do we make it remember? All we simply need to do is that I'm going to add what we call memory. So we are going to add memory to this thing. So present something else. Now, what we are doing now is simply to customize it so that at the end of the day, it can serve us the way we want it to serve us. That's all the customization we are doing now. We are creating our personal assistant. So can you see here, memory? So I'm going to click on the memory. So I'm going to click on simple memory. We want a simple memory. So where does he want us to get the memory from? So I'm going to click on define below. So the key, where is the memory from, is going to be from our chat. So I'm going to drag this here. So this is where, sorry. Let me remove this. It's going to be from the charts, not from the individual. It's going to be from the chart. So I'm going to move this here. ID from ID. I'll move it here. So I'm moving the charts. This is where the memory is from. Now it's asking how many interactions in the past. I'm telling it that 5 interactions from the past. So the 5 previous messages, it should be able to read it. So let's make let's make it active. I wanted to save. So let's make this active, and it can now read our previous charts. So with this now, let me now rewrite it. Since I'm now adding my memory, let me now rewrite the charts and send it to it. So okay, so you can see now it has the memory, and it said it has created the draft. It has created the draft for us. So let's go and confirm how everything is going. So I'm going to go back to my data. So let me stop sharing here. So let's check the flow. So let me tell it to send the drafts in my mail. So save the drafts to my mail. Okay, so can you see now? Okay, so I cannot tell it that. Let me see the drafts. Okay, all right. So now, if you notice something about the data, you will notice that when we send the data, there are no rules on how to organize our mail. There are no rules on how to organize email. So basically, what we are going to do is we are going to now give it a rule on organizing the mail. So now let's give it some rules before we get started. Let's give it some rules. Now, what's our rule? Let me add some rules to the workflow. So, but before I go to the rules, let me quickly show you the draft. Let me show you the draft it's created, so that you can see that our AI agent is working. So can you see now? It said, "Dear HR, I hope this message finds you well. I'm writing to formally request leave for next week as I am planning a trip to the beach. I will ensure that all my responsibilities are taken care of before my leave and will be available for urgent matter. Thank you for considering my request. I look forward to your approval." So simple and straightforward. It's generated all from my Telegram bot. Now imagine the time it takes you to sit down and think and conjure all of this in your head. It's a whole lot of time, right? So you might not have that time to sit down and start putting everything together. So what do? You use AI agents, and then you can see how we've automated boring stuff. Who wants to sit down, write in, and even send it to HR? So let me add some rules. So when I add some rules to this data, you will see some improvements in how it carries out the activity. So can you see that? So can you see how it works? Then you can see the other ones. Look at the previous. For a short vacation, let me know if there are forms I need to complete. You can see that and all of this. So the HR will not know that you're actually the one behind it. They will think it's, and they will not know that it's a AI that is doing it. All right. So now let's quickly go back to where we were coming from. So present. So let's go back to our work table. Let's add some rules. Let's add some rules. So we're going to be adding the rules to our AI. We're going to let our AI know that, well, there are ground rules to use to answer people. So I'll go back to my AI agent. So you see where the prompt, this prompt user message, I'm going to click on it. Then I'll click here. I'll say, here is the user message. So what I'm trying to tell the AI is that, look, I want you to understand what's going on. So this thing you are seeing here, this is the user message. So rules. So I'm telling you the rules. Rule number 1, create a draft and send. Before you send an email, you send an email. Create a draft and send it to the user, and send it to the Telegram for the user to see. Then rule number 2, the email of my name. So I can just say my name is Daniel, because I'm building this as a personal assistant, not for my name is Daniel, just in case you need it. You need my name. So that's another thing. So you can add as many rules as you like. So I can even give the email of the HR is maybe Daniel at analytics.org. So I'm giving it an email. So whenever I say send a mail to the HR, it knows who to send the mail to. So you can add different rules, and to this. So with this now, we've been able to define our agents and we've been able to refine it as much as possible. So let's go back. Now, let's go back. Let's see what it does. So let's go back to our Telegram and see if it actually does this. So let's go back to our Telegram. Let's go and chat. Let's go and
Yes, you're actually grow taller than me. But then when it's now like when I'm now like
so can you see now? All right, so let's do thank you for the email. I need an email to tell my boss that I want to fire him and become the next boss. Don't be polite in your tone. All right, so let's see what it does for us. So he's trying to advise me, but I don't need your advice. Uh, just continue. So, all right, okay, so do the best thing. Now, you see why we are having this conversation is because I already set a memory. Do the best thing. Okay, so let me see the email. So let's see. It has created it for us. I forgot to save the new rule the other time, so let me save it. That's why I didn't give us. All right, so now if you'd like to make adjustments, so you see that my name is not there. Create another draft and include my name. So I've saved my agents, and can you see it now? So it has created a draft, and then it has included my name, best regard Daniel Dolapo. So I want to, so like this now, I can take this and send it to my boss at the at the seminar, and then I tell them that okay, I'm done. I want to remove you. Okay, so basically, you can see how I've been able to create a personal assistant without any other person interfering. Now, this is different from having to go to ChatGPT, type in, then you come and copy paste. No, it does all of these things from your chat. And this can be very useful in an organization where you already have predefined tasks. You can tell it where you want it to go. You can tell it what you want it to do. Like the use is endless, like totally endless. So I have my chatbot. I'm going to drop the name of the chatbot. I want you to try it out. So while you try it out, I want to call up Treasure to take it over from here while you try it out. So I'll be there waiting to see what you draft out. Trust me, I'm not going to see what you are going to send, but you can try out several things from here. So let me drop the chat. Let me drop the link for you to try it out. So while you are still waiting for yours, let me draw the link. Even though it is my personal assistant, let me draw the link for you to try it out. And tell me what's your experience with it. So I've dropped the link on the chatbot there. And this is it in case you want to try it out. So this is the chatbot link. So try it out. I want to get feedback. Let's see. Does my AI agent, does it work well? Is it not working well? Let me get feedback. Please, I need a thumbs up. I need a thumbs up, please, for feedback. All right, all right. So I need somebody to tell me their experience from it. So I'm waiting. Who is testing our chatbot? Like I said, we are using something that we are building something that we are. All right. So who is sharing? Who is sharing their use experience with us? All your questions. Hello, Treasure.
All right. Hi, Daniel. Thank you so much for the presentation so far. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, I think it has been a fantastic session. Everyone has gotten to learn a lot about building AI agents. I've personally worked with n8n, and I know the powerful nature of n8n. And there are so much more tools that you get to learn, basically working with analytics and, for your organization, for yourself, for your workflow and how to improve your activities. So I'm just going to continue from where Daniel stopped, so that we can show you some of the benefits and offers that we have moving forward. So based off what Daniel just said, so we worked on n8n, showing you like how to have conversations, build a chat bot on Telegram, and you're wondering, oh, do I have to be a coder, or as a founder, do I need this, or as a data analyst, do I need it, or as a customer rep, do I? So AI, a lot of people worry about AI. But if you don't understand how to make use of AI at this point, you'll be left behind. AI is the future and is what you should be looking forward to. How can I reduce the number of hours? I'm working 8 hours a day. How can I reduce it to 4 hours and still get my salary? So all I need to do is just to create that automation. And I'm very sure a lot more people would have time to pursue other activities and make more money instead of just budgeting of their day-to-day activities. So like Daniel rightly mentioned, all you'll be doing is supervising rather than having to do the manual labor of entering data or whatever manual repetitive task that you work with. And that is where we come in. So I'm just going to do a quick rundown about, Tenalytics and how we can help you get this necessary skill. And if you're an organization looking to build AI agents, looking to work with different AI tools, GenSpark, n8n, there are so many. A lot of people just know ChatGPT and that's all. There's a whole world out there that you need to explore. And that's why we offer trainings like this. So this webinar is very short, is what, 1 hour plus. And I'm very sure a lot of people might not have grasped the full idea of what AI looks like. And that's where we step in. We have more to offer than just a 1 hour class. We want to give you like details and show you how to build it end to end and show you different platforms and templates to work with. So that's where you come in to learn in Tenalytics business. So for Tenalytics business, when it comes to our training, we are not going to do a one-off webinar and that's it. Just like you have Daniel teaching you how to do this, you'd also have access in a closed classroom group where you can ask some questions. You can build your own AI agents. You can get clarity on different aspects. There's a very strong community. We just finished our previous cohort on data analytics, and if you check our social media platform, you see a lot of our students that we showcase. So apart from the community you get within the organization, we also try to put our students out there, and it's more or less like a placement activity. So you get more visibilities and recruiters start to reach out to you based on what you build outside. So that's the continuity support that we offer in Tenalytics business. Another thing is we don't do generic or irrelevant content. So just like Daniel was just talking about the general automation workflow, what we would look to do is to niche it down to your particular organization, your industry, to make sure that you have the right information. So if you're in the financial space, fintech space, or medical space, whatever industry you currently play in, whatever content we're working with, case study would be in relation to what you do on a day-to-day basis and how to automate it so that you don't have to do it repetitively. So that's another thing we try to achieve. Basically, we always try to make sure that there is a strong return on investment in whatever activities you're working on, whether you're HR, whether you are a CEO, a founder, it doesn't really depend. So you're putting in money. Imagine you train your staff for just 50K and you're getting over, like for a particular staff, you're making over 400,000 naira per person. That is strategic. Okay, so you're also able to gain insight. If there's any problem that's running in your business, it's always good to understand the source, the root cause, and that's the only way you can scale and become better. And that's what we try to achieve in 1096 business. Just like you've seen today, we don't do any sort of what would I call it, theoretical. I'm not coming to tell you a story. It doesn't happen in our class at all. Yeah, there's storytelling, but that's not the main focus. We look at making sure that all we do is practical. You're going to get your hands dirty, because in the real world, nobody's asking you to come and tell them stories. You're basically going to be working and showing them how you can achieve this end to end, and that's what we look to teach you. And then finally, for HRs that we have on here, we have a learning management system. So just like you have Coursera and different platforms, coming to our own platforms, we have specific courses on learning management system where you can learn key activities, short module courses that are tailored to the particular industry, tailored to the particular line of information you want to get. You have assessments, you have games to play, just basically everything to improve your skills end to end. And these are some of the benefits when it comes to training. Okay, so I think I've gone over why, who we are, and what we basically do. So like I mentioned, our contents are tailored. You'll be working with a lot of projects. So not just one, multiple projects. We have a library of resources for over 250 projects. So you have access to so much information to work with. For HR, you can track your activities. For individuals that are working, the fantastic aspect to this is if you're working Mondays to Fridays, our classes are only on the weekends. Okay, we listen to a lot of complaints or individuals that stated, oh, as a working class person, I don't know how I'm going to balance my work with learning. So you don't have anything to worry. On Saturdays and Sundays, you get access to all the information that you need to learn, so it doesn't disrupt your workflow. And if you're an organization looking to train your staff, you can also have their classes. Their classes will be Saturdays and Sundays. So your typical work days are Mondays to Fridays, so you have nothing to bother about that. For global standards, we are registered by the American Training Institute, so we are following strictly the American way of learning. Our participants are cutting across different industries, cutting across different countries. So they also have access to, information from facilitators in the UK, US. So these are some of the differentiating factors between us and other training institutes. So you have nothing to bother in that regards. So these are some of the industries that we've covered to show you that we are quite versatile. Okay, so we have the fintech industry, FMCG industry, oil and gas, telecommunication, logistics, tech, HR. So another thing to mention is if your industry is not here, does not mean we've not gotten there. So there's agro, we have a telecommunication that is highly mentioned here, and other industries that we play in. So just let us know what your current training needs are, and we'll basically be able to provide service to you as well. So if you need further access or further information to basically show our demo session, we have that. We have more than 50% discount running for this month. This month is a very special month for us as an organization. And then if you're looking to train more than one employees, the discount goes further and further. So now I'm going to go to the very exciting part of what we have to offer today. So if you watch Daniel go end to end in the trainings, you see that he talked about different AI tools and basically like the next steps that you need to achieve. And that brings me to my very next slide. So the very next slide we have is what we call generative AI for business. Okay, and as you can see, it's part of our September weekend training program and is looking to start on Saturday, 13th of September. Basically, it's going to be Saturdays and Sundays. It's going to be a 4 weeks class. That means you'll be working with 8 sessions per program. It's going to also be for a duration of 2 to 3 hours. So you're looking at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, and on Sunday, 2 to 5 p.m. For those that are going to church, going to mosques, you have nothing to be bothered about. So we try to make sure that the activities and the time slot is within what working professionals can handle. So if you want to learn more about AI agents, generative AI, prompt engineering, and things in that regard, this is the course for you. And the special thing is, our courses always go for 250,000, some go for 200,000. Now, and for only this month, we'll be having this this training for 100,000 naira. And like I mentioned, it's only going to be for the month of September, and that's it. So I think it's a good time for you to, grab that slot. Basically, what you'll be learning is foundation when it comes to generative AI and how to apply it in your various businesses, how to prompt. So some people work with ChatGPT and they just, ChatGPT help me write that email to my boss, and that's it. There's no actual prompting. There's no clear information of what to do end to end, and that is not what we do. We're going to give you more details, how to prompt effectively, how to automate reports. So for all those live dashboards you want to create and don't know how to go about it, you get access to generative AI, how to create content for those content creators that we have, how to engage with customers. For financial analysts, you learn how to forecast, risk analysis, innovation, ethics and governance when it comes to AI, and how to integrate AI into your workflow. That's something that Daniel mentioned today. So moving on, we also be taking a training, called real-time analytics for faster decision making, and this is just for 50,000 naira. It's also going to be the same time slot because we're running concurrently with the other set of program. You'll be teaching how to create the fundamentals of analytics and the different tools, Looker Studio, Power BI for creating dashboard, and practical use when it comes to finance and operation. Another tools in terms of automation for analytics when it comes to like alert triggers and automation, and then how to scale real-time analytics in cloud security and governance. So this is basically what we'll be giving you for 50,000, and it's also going to be for a month. So, like I said, you are here to cheat us for just this month of September. So you have nothing to worry about. 50,000 naira, you get access to the certificate. You'll be learning. You don't have anything to worry when it comes to the timing, because I mentioned it is strictly for professionals. So it's just going to be Saturdays and Sundays, and it's also at an affordable price. Another thing that we'll be working with this month, like I said, this is a very interesting month for us as an organization, is advanced Excel and automation for finance professionals. You'll be learning advanced Excel functions and financial modeling. You'll also be learning how to automate when it comes to macros and VBA for like your routine financial tasks, dashboarding, KPI reporting, pivot table, all this for just 50,000 naira. And to highlight it again, it's going to be running for a full month. You have 8 classes starting from September 13th, 2025, and you have access to all this amazing information. You want to ask practicals, it's on there. You're getting information and access to your certificate. You have access to our LMS for 3 months. These are some of the benefits that you'd also be getting from this training. You'd also have access to live facilitators like, Daniel, have other people that will be working with on this project. So these are some of the amazing offers we have for you in the month of September, and we can't wait to have you join our session. My colleagues will also drop information on how to go about the payment process, and basically where to submit your receipt to get started and to have you in the next class. So thank you so much. I'm going to go and take a pause now to ask if there are any questions for me to clarify on before we call it a day. Are there any questions? Are there any questions, guys? Hi, everyone. Are there any questions, or was that very clear to everyone? If you have any questions, this would be a good time for you to ask your questions. Okay, fantastic. It's very, very quiet. Very, very quiet on here. Please send a reaction if you have any questions so that we can. Oh, thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much, Superfood Global. Please, you can go ahead with your question if you have any questions that you need us to clarify on. Are there any questions?
I wanted to ask. Good evening.
Yeah, good
Yes,
evening.
please. Good evening. I wanted to ask, is the 50,000 naira per person?
Yes, per person. Did you get that?
Yes, I got it.
Okay. Any other question? Are there any other questions? This is very, very quiet. Yeah, Chris, please go on.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
My question is that is this praise section will it be hosted on YouTube?
Yes, yes. So the recording, this session is fully recorded. For you to have access to the recording, you need to fill out the attendance form. And then, once we're done, we'll upload it on YouTube and you can have access to it.
Okay, thank you. That's all for now.
All right, thank you. Are there any other questions? Are we good? Did everyone catch that? We have about 22 people on this call. And for you to have stayed to this 23, correct, to correct myself, for you to have stayed to this particular period, I'm sure that you have very strong interest in the programs that we're offering moving into September. So thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure speaking to each and every one of you. Please try to make sure that you fill out the attendance form. If you have any questions, you can reach out to any of my team members. If you're on the group, this would also be dropped on the group. If you have any questions, just let us know and we'll be happy to respond to them. But that being said, thank you everyone for joining in today. We're looking forward to having you in the classes. Like I said, super affordable session. If you want to register your team, it's a one-time offer. It's not going to be in October, November. It's just for September. So for September, we have 3 courses that are running: generative AI, a course on data analytics itself, and one on finance. So these 3 cadres, if you know anyone that is interested, please go ahead to let them know. You can share the information with them and we'll be sure to assist them. And just like I mentioned, try and fill out the attendance form if you know you want to get the recording, because without your name and email address on the attendance form, we won't be able to provide the information to you. That being said, if there are no further questions, thank you everyone for joining today's meeting. I think we can call it a day here and have a great rest of your evening. Bye, everyone.